friends, and welcome to another edition of What's Wrong With Ya, the podcast where we ask, what's wrong with ya? My name is Luke Barry, and I am your host. I am the one guiding you to get what's on up here in your head out into the silly little world. And today I have a great episode for you as I interviewed my good old pal, Raven Creed, aka Emma O'Sullivan, and we spoke about wrestling, we spoke about life, we spoke about having tryouts for the WWE at the age of 19 and the mental strain that put on her. We talk about how tough you have to be to become a wrestler, how tough you have to be in life, and advice she'd give to people on following their dreams. Now guys, if you heard that this is a podcast with a wrestler, I just want to assure you this is not a wrestling podcast. We do talk about life, we do talk about mentality, we talk about mental toughness. If you're not a wrestling fan, you can still listen to this. You still find it entertaining, you still find it engaging. I promise you, Emma's an exceptional talent, an exceptional wrestler, and she has a great outlook on life, and I think that you will be interested in this. I've known her since she was 15 years old. She walked into a wrestling gym in Blackpool, and straight away everyone knew she was different. Her mental toughness for someone of that age was absolutely incredible. That really drove her on to become the performer and the person that she is today. And I think that this is only the beginning for her. Although she's accomplished a lot already, I think this is only the first half of her life. The next half of her life is really going to see her go places. So make sure you check out this interview before she gets too famous. You can say, I saw her first, guys. I saw her on the What's Wrong With You podcast with Luke Barry. Check me out at the end of the interview. I'll be back to talk to you about some of the questions that you asked me earlier in the week. You cheeky little bastards. So here we are with Raven Creed. Raven, what's wrong with you?
How long do you want this podcast to be, my dude?
I'm looking for about half an hour, so if you can keep it quick. One sentence, what's wrong with you?
I am actually crazy.
So it's not just a character.
That's what's wrong with me. It's not a gimmick. There we go. That's
you're an actual. So that you actually have that straitjacket you come to the wrestling ring in that's actually yours.
I stole that, yeah.
So you are a wrestler. For people who don't know, if there's anybody watching this who's not a wrestling fan, don't be alarmed. This isn't a wrestling podcast. It's just a podcast with the wrestler. We're not going to exclusively talk wrestling.
Like, because I was talking to you the other day about it, and I immediately went up to you and was like, yeah, just for the podcast there in a couple of days, by the way, I got into wrestling because I started watching on TV and I really liked it and I looked it up. And like, I'm just fucking, no one gives a shit as well. No one actually cares.
No, how many times were you asked that question though?
I don't do many interviews. I don't like it because I just get asked the same thing and it's not fun. Like, so I'll only really do fucking podcasts for people who I know and shit like that. I was going to say friends, but I'm doing one for you. So
no, let's not say friends. That's work colleagues. So colleagues. Right, a different spin on that question then. What was the reaction like when you, let's say, came out as a wrestling fan?
When I told my fucking parents or something, or
I mean, there is that almost thing of when you do you not feel that parents are embarrassed that you're a wrestling fan?
Yeah, mine used to be, definitely.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, because I started watching as well when I was like 12 years old. So I was kind of like old. I wasn't like a fucking young kid who then just like never stopped watching it. I started watching it when I was like about to go into secondary school.
Oh, really?
So like people tried to make fun of me, but I just didn't get it. So I was just like, they would make fun of me and be like, oh, what's on the wrestling show like last week? And I would just fucking tell them as if they were asking me. So yeah, literally people tried to bully me, but it just didn't work because I was like, yeah, I'm no one else will ask. I'll tell you, I'm unbelievable. Exactly.
I think that kind of goes for anything that people are into that's different. It's not exclusive to wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're into musical theater, you got, like, for me, I suppose, to use the stereotype, growing up as a straight male who's into musical theater, people didn't understand.
Yeah, you probably got your fucking abuse. Like, yeah.
I don't like soccer. That's another one that people don't seem to understand. I think if you have a different view on things, people get a little bit confused by it. And I think I don't know if you agree with this. I think it's down to they're afraid to express their different view a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so. it's fucking like, oh, let's talk about what's wrong with us. Like weird fucking like stereotypical conforming to like all
Mhm.
gender and society and all that bullshit. So like people will make fun of you and call you gay or call you a girl for like a musical theater, and they
Yeah.
might fucking make fun of me for being into weightlifting and not being into girly shit or whatever the fuck like that. And it's just because fucking, yeah, like you said, they just can't fully like be themselves. They can't fully see themselves outside of a fucking social bubble that
Mhm.
has been created for them. Fuck me, we're going deep in like 10
Straight
seconds.
away.
Shit.
This is why I throw that "what's wrong with your" question in right at the start.
Yeah.
But
Um
genuinely, I think that's why it's important for to have people like you on this podcast who've done something different. Not only is wrestling a niche interest that we both share, you can see my lovely Intercontinental Championship here behind, but like to actually get involved in wrestling as I suppose female teenager, it, like that's again another step into completely
yeah.
odd and seen as
Yeah.
completely odd.
Sometimes I do kind of judge my parents for allowing me to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But
Like I was 15 when I started. Like
you were
a
15. I met
15-year-old
you on your
girl. Like
first day of wrestling training.
you did, yeah.
Is Do you count that moment as like not meeting me, but I mean coming going to wrestling training as a complete that's the time your life shifted to something else?
Kind of. Kind of, yeah. It wasn't necessarily at the start of it. It was at the end of it when, because like I always had it in my head as like some people are fucking made for it. You hear
Yeah.
of like I watched Tough Enough before I fucking started watching wrestling, so you see some people are kind of made for it, and some people take one bump and they just oh fuck and they're out straight away and they
Mm.
immediately don't want to be a wrestler anymore. But like it was me after like a first training session was like 4 hours of like just kind of getting beaten up and bumped and put in like shoot locks and stuff like that, being like, this is what a wrist lock actually feels like, and fucking for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then fucking afterwards, I remember coming home and be like, I can't wait to come next week.
I think that's
And like,
the difference in mentality though, isn't it?
yeah,
And again,
completely.
that goes for
Different.
everything. I'm sure football players arrive to play football and they're running laps and doing sprints and some people won't come back, other people will come back because it's the best thing they want. It's incredible. Do you think that that mentality stayed with you the whole way through, or was it there beforehand? Or I guess was there any chance that you felt like you were going to lose that mentality of that you want to come back and you want to come back?
Not really. There's been a bunch of times in wrestling where I've kind of wanted to quit for
Mhm.
fucking several different reasons, but it was never because I lost the drive of like I want to keep coming back. I never stopped loving being a wrestler, loving wrestling or anything like
Yeah,
that. It fucking dumb external fucking things usually that made me want to quit. But like
yeah.
I feel like I've always had that kind of a mentality. Like I've been doing like I'm a black belt in karate before I ever fucking became a wrestler.
Mm.
Um, fucking I just you know I'm one of those weird people that just
You're a tough bitch,
I'm
is what you're saying.
I'm a tough bitch. I'm hardcore. I guess I'm just cool as fuck, guys. You know?
But genuinely, like, would you recommend from a young age learning something like karate or some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
fighting
definitely.
sports?
Like yeah. So like outside of wrestling, I'm like a coach and like
Mhm.
I teach a lot of kids as well. With like fucking training and weights and stuff like that, and just
And how do
basic
you teach
fundamental
these kids when
skills.
you have to stay 500 meters away from them? Pedophile joke.
No comment. Um, um, I don't know how to respond to that one without getting
Just
cancelled, so I'm
ignore
just
it.
not
Just
going.
breeze past. You were saying you teach kids?
Yeah. Yeah, so like a lot of like kids I'll train, they would have like never really done sports. They wouldn't have been into it. They're more of
Mhm.
like video game kids as opposed to sports kids. And like it is you see a very big difference compared to like even a kid who's been kind of just playing GA or basketball or something since he
Yeah.
was a fucking kid. They can fucking move and they can squat better, they can hinge better, they can press things better, they can run better, they can just fucking balance themselves fucking better. Um I think karate like for fucking physical movement and like fundamental movement and shit like that for kids, that would be great. Don't some kind of martial art like that.
Mhm.
But also like a fucking here's where fucking I get weird and sergeanty. The fucking discipline as well that it
Yeah.
kind of brings, you know? You
Yeah.
have to be fucking respectful, you have to be on time, you have to like do all the correct things and like shit like that. It's a very respect based kind of a fucking thing. So that's probably what a lot of like got ingrained in my fucking head and why I was like so okay and open to like, yeah, this hurts, but I'm like paying my fucking dues. I'm grand with
Mm.
getting bumped around. I'm grand with getting fucking hurt because this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm fucking happy to come back and keep getting hurt. You know what I mean?
I had the opposite, I'd say, growing up. I tried to
Really?
do taekwondo. I got as far as yellow belt, and I was like, fuck this. I had no, I couldn't stay in team sports. I couldn't focus on, I had absolutely no drive to help a team.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, but that's why fucking martial arts probably would have been good for you because
I
you've
think
just been
because
there.
we had to line up and it was groups and class situations
Oh yeah,
freaked
that
me
gets
out.
boring.
It just freaks me out. I get like what I now know as anxiety, I suppose. As a child, if I was in a class situation, I'd either start completely withdrawing within myself or just go, I have to be the center of attention in this room right now. Otherwise, I don't
Mm.
feel comfortable here. And I think that
And you
kept
still
up
do
like,
that today.
hmm?
And you still do that today.
100%. I'm either the quietest person in the room or the loudest person in the room.
Yeah.
It's just the way I am. But I tried basketball, I tried football, I tried rugby, I tried taekwondo. Nothing held my concentration ever, except for wrestling. Except for
Mm.
actually no, shot put and discus I did as well. But that's because it's just me, hand me something, I throw it, I go away. You know,
Yeah, it's a
that was
completely
that simple.
individual fucking thing.
But
Like,
wrestling did because it incorporated everything. And I think wrestling gets a bad rap because for wrestling, you have teamwork, you have to be somewhat athletic, you have to be in somewhat okay physical shape, very good mental shape. There's theatrics involved, there's character work involved. It incorporates all these different life skills that would, I think if they did teenage wrestling classes in PE, you'd actually have a well rounded group of people. So trying to sell that to people would be
yeah,
almost impossible.
it's an interesting shout because, like, yeah, what else is there to do in fucking PE? Just like fucking throw a football in and everyone plays soccer, except for the people like you and me who can't and don't want to fucking play soccer.
Yeah, I used
But
to be
like,
sent to the racquetball court when
oh
soccer was
yeah,
happening. Yeah.
nice. I used to just be sent to the fucking dugout with the rest of the girls who weren't allowed to play, basically.
Girls weren't allowed to play football.
No, they were allowed to play, but only one played because the lads would never pass to us. So
Oh God.
it's understandable why they wouldn't pass to me. I'm fucking god awful at like
Yeah, that's fair
soccer
enough.
and sport or anything like that. Unless it involves like hitting or getting hit, I'm fucking useless. Like,
Let's talk about, I guess, one of the biggest moments of your, we talked about the start of your wrestling career. You had a tryout for WWE a few years ago. Was
oh
that
yeah, fuck.
2 years ago?
It was
3?
2019, I think. It was just before COVID.
Wow. Was it that long ago? Yeah. We
Yeah,
have this whole gap because of COVID, I suppose.
I know. I have no idea where the fuck I am. Like,
It's insane. So that was while in Cork here, Phoenix Wrestling was up and running. You were head coach with Phoenix Wrestling
mhm.
because reasons. and
Yeah,
um,
you welcome there.
and I guess you got a WWE tryout. How does something like that? How do you feel about something like that? Because I know you had a little bit of a struggle beforehand. You injured yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I
How
fucking right,
talk to me
like
about the
right
roller
before.
coaster of that tryout, basically.
Fucking it was crazy. I fucking unbelievably happy when I fucking got an email like 3 or 4 weeks out from when we were gonna go over. They were gonna bring us over for like full week or whatever like that of the tryout. Um and less than a week beforehand, I think it was like 6 days beforehand, I had a match and I fucking fucked up my hand basically, unsure if it was actually broken or not because I had one X-ray and they said that they were kind of unsure about one piece, so that I had to come back to get a separate X-ray.
Mm.
And I was convinced at that point. I was like, "Fuck, I actually can't go and do a tryout now because of something fucking stupid that happened to me." Because you actually said to me at one stage, like, "Yeah, because they're gonna ask you to do push-ups on that hand, and you're gonna fucking do it, and you're gonna break your fucking hand."
Yeah,
Um,
because I know you
yeah,
well
so
enough
kind
to
of
know that. And is that what
yeah,
happened?
exactly. Yeah, that's literally exactly what happened. I eventually
Yeah.
did decide to fucking go. My sister was kind enough to pay for some physio for my hand, so it really
Nice.
fucking helped. Because I was in college at the time. I had no fucking money.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so I was able to get over there. I was still fucked up, and I wasn't in a cast, but I was wrapped up, and I was like had to do push-ups on my knuckles, but still hurt like fuck because I couldn't like extend my hand like
Hmm.
this. Um, but like just being there and just actually being asked to go is one thing. Going and like we had the tryout, and a couple of us, all the Irish girls and one or two others, were asked to stay for another week, for a full training week with all the people who were in NXT UK at the time,
Hmm.
which was it was insane. It
Yeah.
was really fucking brilliant to be asked to stay, even when I was like a little bit fucking hurt. So that was a bit of a fucking ego boost for me as well. But yeah, there was kind of it's funny on the time when we were fucking training with the NXT UK people, I was like, everyone was super kind of like weird and fucking angsty. When you're in a situation like that, you forget how to fucking front row.
Hmm.
You know, like stuff that you've done a million times. You're like, oh shit, fuck, do I know how to fucking lock up? Like, you know,
Is that
you
just
fucking
because
panic.
you're under a microscope and you feel that pressure of?
Yeah, because you're under a microscope. Because you feel like every tiny step you take will kind of affect your fucking next 10 years of your fucking life. Like,
Yeah.
if I step wrong one way, I'm not gonna get hired and get fucking hired anyway, so it doesn't matter. But but like also just like fucking so many people around that I respected so fucking
Mm.
much, watching me as well. I just wanted to impress them, and it's like I remember being very kind of like just in myself and a bit fucking shy, which I'm usually not, but around new people I fucking am. And we got to a part where we had to do promos. Um, and like
For
fucking
non-wrestling fans, promos is the talking part of wrestling, the what you do to sell your match, effectively, the sales pitch of the match.
exactly the staring to the camera, talking about your match and shit like that. So I got to do that then at one point, in a pair, and it was a really good promo. It was a really
Mhm.
kind of funny, odd, sketchy kind of a promo. And it was after that then that I was like, oh fuck, I actually feel a bit fucking confident now because I was able
Yeah.
to do something fucking well. And like it's kind of odd wrestling almost, like I don't know if you'll agree with this, but like wrestling, being able to have a separate character in wrestling allowed me to be able to do things in my real life that I would usually struggle with, like give a presentation in college,
Yeah.
like because I was able to just not go up there and go "Ah," as Raven fucking Creed or anything, but like just be able to go up there and fake confidence because I was used to faking confidence as a different character. So
No, I
like,
completely agree with that. There, like, I, and this sounds crazy. I wrote a blog about this ages ago when I was acting and wrestling at the same time quite a lot. I used to call this version of myself my clown, which I know is artsy and shitty and whatever. But the
love it,
clown, I
stand.
used to say that the clown would take over. The clown is Marion Armstrong when I was a wrestler. If you watch me on stage and I'm shaking my legs and I'm doing the weird faces and I'm showing off and that's the epitome of what that clown is. Me in real life at home sitting, I'm not that person. If I go on stage, that person can take over consciously. It became unconscious. It became just this thing that I was able to just bam, and I'm that
Mm-hmm.
person on stage, and I won't remember a show, or I won't know what decisions led to me saying something or doing something. And it at the time I was like, this is great performance. Now I know that's mental illness.
Oh
You
shit,
know what I mean?
is it? That's what I
That's
do.
I know you do because I taught you to do that.
No, exactly, you fucking crazy
But
bitch.
it isn't mental illness. I'm being a little bit flippant with that, but it's like it's a level of a mask, I suppose, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, completely.
And I think that it does help in real life situations, because you know how to flip that mask over your face and talk and know that it's not the criticism that you feel people are thinking that they're probably not thinking isn't
Mm.
directed at you, it's directed at the clown. It's directed, do you know what I mean?
That was something that you did actually kind of tell me when I was first kind of like starting off in wrestling like that. I remember you saying a lot of people should like start as heels, or if it would be better for me to start as a heel or something like that,
Mhm.
or something about using a different name, because then if anyone criticizes you or talks shit about you or whatever, then it's not
Yeah.
about you and you don't personally attach to it.
So when
I
you were
think that's
starting
the
out,
fucking,
I think that's good advice because,
Yeah.
like, people saying something, Raven Creed had a shit match when you start out, they're not saying Emma O'Sullivan had a shit match.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
about
And
the
you
character,
can
like my
separate that.
expenses.
Humans like to separate the things into little boxes, so it's a I suppose a mind hack in doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think wrestlers. The reason I wanted to have a wrestler on this to talk, I suppose, about their mind and mentality, you brought it up basically in a nutshell there, is it is acting, but you're you don't get to not be that person in public. Like Tony Stark
Yeah.
is not Iron Man in public. But if a wrestling
No.
fan is talking to you, you're Raven Creed
Yeah, it's
to them.
fucking it's yeah, that's odd, and you almost feel the need to put on a bit of a fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking
How does that affect
it's
you?
strange.
Does it affect you, or are you used to it now?
Um oh fuck, it's kind of like being able to just kind of like I can kind of bullshit. I can kind of talk if I'm just like,
Hmm.
if someone comes up to me at a merch stand or something like that, usually it's just kind of nice politeness anyway. Like I don't really walk around anywhere and get recognized too fucking often or anything like
Yeah.
that. Um, like the actual in coming in and out of character and shit like that, that used to affect me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better at it now because I have a lot more kind of calm and controlled way of fucking getting into character. If you've ever seen me before a fucking match, if you're a wrestler and you've ever seen me before a match, even fucking now, I'm very pacey, I'm very fucking deep breathy, and I have to like fucking not shout, but I have to just like make noises and get fucking in it.
That's called a
Um,
trigger. In acting, that's called a trigger. Some people
oh
have a
yeah, just
word,
like
some people have a noise. So, like,
yeah,
I played a bad guy before and I used to say the word fuck. I used to go backstage, I used to go fuck, 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 because that puts something into your body, that feeling.
yeah.
It's called a trigger.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'd
Yeah.
fucking
There you go.
accents
You're
into
an
that shit.
actor.
Yeah, hey, fuck. There's more career opportunities for me. Shit, if this one that currently isn't working out doesn't work out.
It is working. Okay, so where have you wrestled? You've wrestled in Progress in
Yeah,
England. It's
yeah,
been on the
true.
WWE network. You've wrestled all over Ireland. We wrestled together on the same show in Switzerland. Where else have you wrestled?
True. Fucking
Switzerland in
UK,
a boxing
Scotland.
ring, I might add.
Oh yeah, that was the weekend I got powerbombed on a car. Um,
I think you were 18 like a
great
week.
weekend. Huh?
You were 18 only a week or something.
About like less than a month. It was less than a month.
Crazy.
You guys pressured me into drinking because you're bad.
You were 18. It's fine.
Yeah, I had like drank like 3 times before that. And one of
So are
that
you
times when
saying
I
I
was
ruined
six
your
years
life? Is
old.
that what you're
So,
saying right now?
huh?
You saying I ruined your life?
I'm saying you were a big part of it. You're like my 12th reason.
That's good. That'll sell the podcast. I ruin
There we
lives.
go. That's the fucking soundbite, is it? That's the
Yeah.
one that you're going to use to promote on the fucking Instagram.
Find out how
Guys,
Luke ruined
like
Raven
this
Creed's
fucking
life.
video.
um, but we were talking about the WWE tryout a minute ago, and you made a joke about not getting signed. Um, to get serious for a second on that, that must have been like I don't think you ever go into this thinking you're going to WWE. But when you get the tryout, the hope is there, the feeling is there. You do a good promo, you think you get asked back. How does it feel to not then get signed? Or is there even a feeling? Or is it, yeah, I knew I wouldn't? Or is it something?
it's it's fucking see, like when I first started wrestling, when I fucking got into it, I didn't even have in the back of my head if I could get a WWE. I would have loved to have gone to WWE.
Mhm.
That's always been my goal. That's always been my fucking dream. But I didn't actually genuinely believe in the back of my head like I'm gonna get a WWE tryout. And then when I got the tryout, I didn't really believe that I'd do that well in it. And then I did well in it, and then I got asked back. And then it was still in the back of my head, like,
Mhm.
oh no, they'll never fucking ask me to fucking to stay. They'll never give me a contract. But at that point, like, oh, they'll never do this had already happened a good few fucking times.
Yeah.
So like, it was still kind of like fucking, you never think you're fucking good enough in wrestling, you know? And if you do, then you're fucking narcissistic and you're probably not good enough, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like if you think like, oh, I'm the fucking best, I had the best fucking match, I deserve this more than this person, then like you fucking have a look at yourself and see what you can improve instead of fucking shitting on other people.
Yeah, you stopped
But
learning
like,
at that point.
yeah, fucking exactly.
Yeah.
But like, so it did definitely like hurt a lot at the time because remember I came back and it was just like it was very hard just going back into like normal life, going from like holy fuck my life could be changed to like, oh, I have to go back to college, I have another year of college, I'm doing all this
Yeah.
other shit that I don't want to do, and fuck, my dream is being taken away from me. Looking back on that kind of now, I was 19 I think when I was doing the trial,
Which is
and then I
crazy, by the way.
I know, fucking nuts.
Yeah.
um and then I think I turned 20 pretty soon after. I was about to say my age. I kind of want to keep that mystery just in case. People could do the math, but fuck it. I'm a
I
couple
think
of
you
years.
already said that it was 2019, so that's not that
Yeah,
difficult to
no.
figure out.
Well, the people are watching this in 5 years. They don't fucking need to know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I'm a couple of years older than that now, and I'm definitely a much better wrestler, performer, fucking person than I was when I was fucking 19.
Yeah.
I've grown so much in and out of wrestling, more than I ever fucking could if I actually did get a contract at that
Yeah.
time. Like, and I think now, like I kind of have it in my head now. When I get asked back, if I get asked back, all that bullshit, I can offer more to whoever fucking wants to have me work for them.
I think that's a
I'm,
very healthy way of thinking about that.
yeah, I fucking have to come to that conclusion.
But yeah, well, I understand that as well. There still has to be a lot of what ifs in your head.
Completely, yeah,
Like,
totally.
that's one of those moments that, if you believe in multiverses or whatever, that there's
Where the fuck would Raven Creed be? Yeah.
exactly. You'd
What
probably
would it
be
be? Would it
like,
be fucking Pigeon Creed or some shit like that,
you'd
or
be like
Siobhan O'Creed?
Stephanie O'Sullivan, the Irish accountant or something weird.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking something stupid like
yeah.
that. Yeah. Fucking yeah. I think about because like I Aoife Valkyrie was on in the same tryout as me,
Mhm.
and she's doing fucking
So well.
phenomenal right now
So
with
well.
fucking NXT. Had a class match recently for the fucking NXT Women's
Mhm.
Championship. It was deadly, and like zero resentment obviously towards her. I'm so fucking proud of her. She just
Yeah,
literally deserves it all. She's like one of the best wrestlers ever from fucking Ireland, in my opinion.
without a doubt.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get to wrestle her a bunch, so I fucking firmly believe that. But there is always a thing in the back of my head. Is like, okay, like, would I have done that well? Would I have got let go fucking straight away? Would I have
Yeah.
just what would have happened? But like, there's so many what would haves. Like, there's a million different fucking multiverses where like I'm currently in Rhea Ripley's position and fucking Dominic Mysterio or something like that, or like, or I got hired and then got fired instantly because I started doing steroids or some bullshit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, there's a billion fucking scenarios. I'm not on steroids, by the way. I fucking wish. Please, can we start that rumor so I can feel good about
Start
myself?
a rumor. If you thought people start rumors, so you think you're huge, is it?
Yeah, please. When I was in fucking secondary school, people started a rumor that I was on steroids because I could do boy push-ups.
I love the
That's true.
term boy push-ups.
Huh?
I love the term boy push-ups.
Yeah, no, that's what they were called back then.
So, right, I suppose that was kind of a serious question. So let's go. I sent you a few stupid questions to think about.
Mm.
So the first one, to keep in the wrestling one, is if you could wrestle any celebrity in a high-profile match, what celebrity would you wrestle and why?
Okay, I didn't read these questions.
Good. I like that even better.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna give you the first answer that comes to my head instead of like thinking too much about it. For some reason, Machine Gun Kelly came into my fucking head because I remember that fucking time that he took a power bomb off Kevin Owens through a fucking announce table.
Yeah.
That was some class ass shit. I went to a Machine Gun Kelly concert last year. I was drunk the entire time. I don't remember any of it. It was fucking great. I feel like he would be fun to fucking work because he'd be like stupid enough to take the fucking Logan Paul kind of bumps.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah,
I think
that's
he'd
it.
get
I
booed out
don't.
of the building as well.
Oh, completely. Have him
Yeah.
fucking sing himself to the fucking ring.
Oh yeah.
That's iconic. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
that's a
Machine
good
Gun Kelly.
answer. Machine Gun Kelly versus Raven Creed. Book it,
Oh,
somebody.
yeah.
Now, I don't know how much
Honestly, it
that
looks like
money
it
that
could
match would
fucking
cost,
happen
but let's do
tomorrow.
it.
Yeah, fuck it. Do it, please.
I'm gonna tag him in this. Machine Gun Kelly, if you're a man, if you're a tough guy,
You
if you're any
fucking
of these things, you'll fight Raven Creed.
listen to me, you little fucking emo bitch, alright? This is going out to Machine Gun Kelly, you stupid, white, nasty fucking. I don't know the rest of that meme, but you fucking know what I'm saying. This is going out to you, Machine Gun Kelly, alright? If you're not a little bitch like I think you are, after you wrote that song, Emo Girl, I was really fucking looking forward to that song and you fucked it up. You did a lazy, shit, boring chorus. Change a fucking couple of words every now and again, lad. Anyway, if you're not a bitch, fight me. I'm Raven Creed.
There you go.
I can do a better promo. I promise the WWE one was better than that.
So I guess where do we go from there? Let's talk life. Let's get away from wrestling a little bit.
Okay.
What led you to being who you are? I know it's a loaded question, but I think everybody has one or two big memories. Did you ever see the film Inside Out?
Yeah.
In that they have core memories that makes them who
Ooh,
they are.
okay. Core
What
memory.
does that for you?
Fuck, what are my core memories?
So I'll give you an
I'm gonna try and
example. I have a
type
very
this down.
strong memory as a child that some people have told me isn't true, but I don't know. Of me being about 5 or maybe 6, and I couldn't find my mother, and I ran from my house all the way into the town of Cove looking for her while crying. I was looking for, which is, it's about a half an hour walk. So at that age is
Okay.
quite a lot until somebody found me and drove me back home. That's an actual core memory burnt into my mind. I don't know
Fuck.
why I was looking for her so badly. I don't know why I needed her that badly at that time, but I remember the feeling of looking for her. So there you go.
Oh.
So your core
Okay.
memories. Talk to me. What are some core memories that made Emma O'Sullivan who she is, let's say?
Okay, that's a nicer one. Sort of. Um, fucking, I do have kind of one just like in the back of my head for some reason of like I no, it's like I don't have any memories from before I was like 6 or 7 or something like that. So I think one of my first memories was driving up to like some petting zoo in like Kerry or something like that. Um, with I think my mum and my brother I think were in the front seat, and me and my granny were in the back seat. And just I don't know why this is such a weird fucking core memory, but on that way there's like a unicorn statue fucking at the top of like some hill, just like fucking like that over it. And I remember my granny pointing up to that statue and was like, that unicorn will only let you pass if it likes you or if there's a girl in the car. And for some reason that just fucking stuck with me forever. And it's just like one of those like stupid lies that people tell kids just to fuck with them. But yeah, it's always stayed with me. And I remember then my brother and my dad were going up then like a couple of weeks afterwards for something different, and I remember them going to the same place. I remember getting so worried because I was like, "There's no girl in the car. What if the fucking unicorn doesn't like them?" Like,
Isn't it mad how something like that can literally lodge in your brain? You know, like
yeah,
what creates a core memory? It doesn't necessarily have to be a life changing moment, but it will just
just a
stay in your
feeling.
mind. Yeah, a
Yeah,
feeling.
it's just
That's exactly it.
that feeling of like I 100% believed my fucking granny in that moment. I just was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, no, this is a real unicorn. This is a magical creature. This is it." And I just felt so fucking powerfully about it that it fucking stuck with me. And it's probably one of those things that she never thought about, like even the day fucking after or something like that. But I don't know, just the shit that sticks with kids as well. You don't know it, like.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I have another question for you, another weird question. And this one tells me a lot about somebody.
Oh god.
What song would you like played at your funeral? You're
Boom,
not
boom,
allowed to
boom,
use
boom
your
by the
entrance
Venga
music.
Boys. Huh?
You're not allowed to use your entrance music.
Either Boom, Boom, Boom by the Venga Boys or Barbie Girl by Aqua.
Okay, no one's going to expect that.
It's a fucking tune. They're on my workout playlist, man.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boom,
The
boom.
coffin's
Oh
going
my
into a
god.
grave.
That's iconic. Actually, no, if I played I'm Going to Hell when I'm fucking at a funeral, that's That's the shit.
It would have to be like somebody on an acoustic guitar. I'm
Yeah.
going to hell.
I do have a fucking slight obsession with coming out to a diddly diddle version of fucking Going to Hell, like someone playing on like a fiddle. There's like for the lives that they take, and just going super fucking cokey with it. Like,
That would be amazing. Well, that
I
could be when
love
you're
it.
Stephanie O'Sullivan, the Irish accountant in WWE.
Yes. Stephanie O'Sullivan, the Irish fucking accountant. Oh, that's money. That's fucking money.
The Allied Irish tank. There you go. There's the gimmick.
Yes.
Bank of Ireland. This one works forever.
Nice.
Right. Last question for you. Well, second last, I guess. What does the future hold for whichever way you want to answer this? Emma O'Sullivan, Raven Creed, both combined. What's happening with you in the future?
Who knows? It's put it as fucking vaguely as fucking possible.
Well,
There's a couple of things that I want to do right now with fucking my personal life and with my fucking wrestling life. A lot of things are hopefully in the works. A lot of things I'm fucking like, big things and also like small things for fucking wrestling. Like,
So what you're saying is stay
content.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Basically, I'm not going to say exactly where I'm going to go. Or exactly where I fucking want to go, because I'm always afraid of saying that in case it doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, once big shit, I know big shit is happening, everyone else will fucking know about it too, because I won't shut up about it. So
Good. I like that. Right. Last question. Same as the first question. Are you any clearer? What's wrong with you?
I think I need to quit wrestling.
I ruined your life in Switzerland and I ruined your life on this podcast.
Yeah, completely. No, I think you saved my life, to be honest with you.
Well, that's possible.
If I just quit wrestling, that's another fucking like multi-universe thing. Where would I be if I never started wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Would
big
I
one.
be able to talk in front of a group of people like I fucking am now? Would I be covered in stupid tattoos and have dumb hair? Would I just be Stephanie O'Sullivan, the Irish accountant?
Bank of Ireland.
Bank of Ireland.
So
Bank
I
of
guess
Ireland.
what we can take from that last bit that you said there is people should just go out and do the thing that they want to do, because that literally, talking to core memories, you starting wrestling is obviously a core thing for you, and that is now who you are. Go out, follow your dreams, do them if they're hard, because no one else is going to do your dreams for you.
Exactly, and fuck everyone else. Literally, there's always going to be people who don't want you to be happy and don't want you to do shit because it's a little bit different, it's a little bit weird, and you're not following the fucking traditional norms of fucking society. If you want to do interesting shit, or if you don't want to do interesting shit, follow your boring dreams. That's fucking valid as fuck too. Mm-hmm. Do what you want to do because you want to do it, and fuck everyone else.
Fuck everyone else. Fantastic advice from an absolute psychopath. Raven Creed, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry we got deep.
Wasn't that an absolutely incredible interview? Raven Creed is somebody that I think you should all be looking out for. Follow her on all her social media channels. Look her up. She's absolutely incredible. Thank you to Emma for doing that interview. It was unbelievable. Stay tuned for some more interview announcements coming soon. There are going to be some very good interviews. I've got some stuff lined up for you guys. You're going to be excited. So let's move on to some of the questions that you asked me on Instagram and Twitter this week. Starting with this. What's the funniest insult that you've used or had used against you? Used against me, I'd say, when I was a child, I, for a brief period in time, had the nickname Teabag because my surname is Barry. Now, that's very clever for children because Barry's tea. I think that was the best insult used against me. I think I did a great comeback against somebody who was trying to start a fight with me years ago. I remember being in McDonald's, a bit drunk, and a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, a bunch of scumbags, decided to try and start a fight with me. And they walked over, and your man wanted to start a fight, and he said, "Hey, you!" Like that to me. I said, "Yeah." He said, "I shagged your mother last night." And I just went, "Yeah? Well, I shagged your dad this morning." And he got really, really confused, and he went back to his friends and he went, "He just said he shagged my dad." And while he was being confused, I just walked out the door and got into a taxi. Because that's how I roll. I take the coward's approach, but first I say something witty. I'm a witty coward, folks. I'm a witty coward. Next question is, what's the stupidest encounter you've ever had with someone? A lot of them, I guess. I mean, the stupidest thing the thing that comes to mind is my wife, Kate, once asked me how to spell LL Cool J. I spoke about that on my old podcast, Couple Up, before. I think that's pretty dumb. So yeah, her asking how to spell LL Cool J was pretty stupid. So over on Twitter, I got asked some good questions. I got asked from Dean, Winegums guy. Shout out to the Winegums guy. At every RCW wrestling show, he gives me some Winegums when I'm on commentary, and I appreciate the shit out of it. He said, in a fight, who would win, Butch Armstrong or Batman, the Robert Pattinson one? Butch Armstrong would win. Butch Armstrong could beat anybody on any given day, especially Batman. He doesn't care if you're a bat, if you're a man, if you're both. He'll crush your bones. There you go, Butch Armstrong would win. And the next question was, who would you have as a dream commentary partner for one night only? We're talking dream commentary partner? Dream commentary partner, Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, come back, buddy. I know you're still alive. Come back and do commentating on a wrestling show in Cork with me. Please, Andy, please. Thanks, guys, for your questions this week. They're phenomenal. I love getting questions from you. It's my favourite part of any podcast I ever do. So keep them coming. Let me know what you thought of this podcast. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Spotify. Rate and review me on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. And make sure to follow me on social media at www.ypod on Twitter and on Instagram. Leave me some comments about who you want to see me interview. And always ask me those sexy, sexy questions. Watchers, listeners, I'm Luke Barry. What's wrong with ya?